Welcome everyone to our final video, the last chapter, chapter 71 of the Count of Monte Cristo, the 5th of October. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening. An opalescent light through which the autumn sun shed a golden ray descended on the sea. The heat of the day had gradually diminished into that delicious freshness which seems like nature's breathing after the burning siesta of the afternoon, and a light breeze was bringing to the shores of the Mediterranean the sweet perfume of trees and plants mingled with the salt smell of the sea. A small yacht, elegant in shape, was drifting in the evening air over this immense lake, like some swan opening its wings to the wind and gliding through the water. It advanced rapidly, although there seemed hardly sufficient wind to ruffle the curls of a young maiden. Standing on the prow, a tall dark man was watching the approach of land, a cone-shaped mass which appeared to rise out of the water like a huge Catalan hat. "Is that Monte Cristo?" he asked of the skipper in a voice full of sadness. "Yes, Your Excellency," replied the latter. "We are there." 10 minutes later, with sails furled, they anchored 100 feet from the little harbor. The cutter was ready with 4 oarsmen and the pilot. The 8 oars dipped together without a splash, and the boat glided rapidly onward. A moment later, they found themselves in a small natural creek and ran aground on fine sand. "If Your Excellency will get onto the shoulders of 2 of our men, they will carry you to dry land," said the pilot. The young man's answer was a shrug of complete indifference as he swung himself out of the boat into the water. "Ah, Excellency," cried the pilot, "that is wrong of you. The master will scold us." The young man continued to follow the 2 sailors, and after about 30 steps reached the shore, where he stood and peered into the darkness. Then he felt a hand on his shoulder, and a voice startled him by saying, "Good evening, Maximilian. You are very punctual." "It is you, Count," cried the young man, delightedly pressing Monte Cristo's 2 hands in his. "Yes, and as you see, as punctual as you are. But you are drenched, my friend. Come, there is a house prepared for you, where you will forget cold and fatigue." The sailors were dismissed, and the 2 friends proceeded on their way. They walked for some time in silence, each busy with his own thoughts. Presently, Morrel, with a sigh, turned to his companion. "I am come," said he, "to say to you as the gladiator would say to the Roman emperor, 'He who is about to die salutes you.'" "You have not found consolation, then?" Monte Cristo asked with a strange look. "Did you really think I could?" Morrel said with great bitterness. "Listen to me, Count, as to one whose spirit lives in heaven while his body still walks the earth. I am come to die in the arms of a friend. It is true there are those I love, my sister and her husband, Emmanuel, but I have need of strong arms and one who will smile on me during my last moments. I have your word, Count. You will conduct me to the gates of death by pleasant paths, will you not? Oh, Count, how peacefully and contentedly I shall sleep in the arms of death." Morrel said the last words with such determination that the Count trembled. Seeing that Monte Cristo was silent, Morrel continued, "My friend, you named the 5th of October as the day on which my trial should end. It is today the 5th of October. I have but a short while to live." "So be it," said Monte Cristo. "Come with me." Morrel followed the Count mechanically, and they had entered the grotto before he perceived it. There was a carpet under his feet, a door opened, exhaling fragrant perfumes, and a bright light dazzled his eyes. Morrel paused, not venturing to advance. He mistrusted the enervating delights that surrounded him. Monte Cristo gently drew him in. He sat down, and Morrel took a seat opposite him. They were in a wonderful dining room, where the marble statues bore baskets on their heads laden with flowers and fruit. Morrel looked at everything in a vague way, though it is even possible he did not see anything. "Count, you are the essence of all human knowledge," he resumed, "and you have made me think you have descended from a more advanced and wiser world than ours. Tell me, is it painful to die?" Monte Cristo looked at Morrel with indescribable tenderness. "Yes, it is undoubtedly painful when you violently break this mortal coil that obstinately demands to live. According as we have lived, death is either a friend who rocks us gently as a nurse, or an enemy who violently tears the soul from the body. I understand now why you have brought me here to this deserted isle in the middle of an ocean, to this subterranean place, which is a sepulchre such as would awaken envy in the heart of a pharaoh. It is because you love me, is it not, Count? Because you love me well enough to give me a death without agony. a death which will permit me to glide away, holding your hand and murmuring the name of Valentine. Yes. Yes, you have guessed right, Morel, said the Count simply. That is what I intend. Now, he said to himself, I must bring this young man back to happiness. He has passed through enough sorrow to merit happiness at last. Then aloud, he added, Listen to me, Morel. I see that your grief is overwhelming. As you know, I have no one in the world to call my own. I have learned to regard you as my son, and to save that son I would sacrifice my life, nay, even my fortune. What do you mean? I mean that you wish to leave this world because you do not know all the pleasures a large fortune can give. Morel, I have nearly 100 millions. I give them to you. With such a fortune, nothing is denied you. Have you ambitions? Every career is open to you. Turn the world upside down, change its character, let no mad scheme be too mad for you. Become a criminal if it is necessary. But live. I have your word, Count, said Morel coldly. Taking out his watch, he added, It is 11:30. Morel, consider, would you do this thing before my eyes, in my house? Then let me go hence, replied Maximilian gloomily. Otherwise, I shall think you do not love me for myself, but for yourself. It is well, said the Count, whose face had brightened at these words. You wish it, and you are firmly resolved on death. You are certainly most unhappy, and, as you say, a miracle alone could save you. Sit down and wait. Morel obeyed. Monte Cristo rose and went to a cupboard, and unlocking it with a key which he wore on a gold chain, took out a small silver casket wonderfully carved. The corners represented 4 bending women symbolical of angels aspiring to heaven. He placed the casket on the table and, opening it, took out a small gold box, the lid of which opened by the pressure of a secret spring. This box contained an unctuous, half-solid substance of an indefinable color. It was like an iridescence of blue, purple, and gold. The Count took a small quantity of the substance with a gold spoon and offered it to Morel while fixing a long, steadfast glance upon him. It was then seen that the substance was of a greenish hue. This is what you asked for and what I have promised to give you, said the Count. Taking the spoon from the Count's hand, the young man said, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Farewell, my noble and generous friend. I am going to Valentine and shall tell her all you have done for me. Slowly, but without any hesitation, and waiting only to press the Count's hand, Morel swallowed, or rather tasted, the mysterious substance the Count offered him. The lamps gradually became dim in the hands of the marble statues that held them, and the perfumes seemed to become less potent. Seated opposite Morel, Monte Cristo watched him in the shadow, and Morel saw nothing but the Count's bright eyes. An immense sadness overtook the young man. My friend, I feel that I am dying. Then he seemed to see Monte Cristo smile, no longer the strange, frightening smile that had several times revealed to him the mysteries of that profound mind, but with the benevolent compassion of a father toward an unreasonable child. At the same time, the Count appeared to increase in stature. Nearly double his height, he was outlined against the red hangings, and, as he stood there erect and proud, he looked like one of those angels with which the wicked are threatened on the day of judgment. Depressed and overcome, Morel threw himself back in his chair, and a delirious torpor crept into his veins. He seemed to be entering upon the vague delirium that precedes the unknown thing they call death. He endeavored once more to give his hand to the Count, but it would not move. He wished to articulate a last farewell, but his tongue lay heavy in his mouth like a stone at the mouth of the sepulchre. His languid eyes involuntarily closed. Yet, through his closed eyelids, he perceived a form moving, which he recognized in spite of the darkness that seemed to envelop him. It was the Count who was opening a door. Immediately, a brilliant light from the adjoining room inundated the one where Morel was gently passing into oblivion. Then he saw a woman of marvelous beauty standing on the threshold. She seemed like a pale and sweetly smiling angel of mercy come to conjure the angel of vengeance. Is heaven opening before me? The dying man thought to himself. This angel resembles the one I have lost. Monte Cristo pointed to the sofa where Morel was reclining. The young woman advanced toward it with clasped hands and a smile on her lips. Valentine! Valentine! Morel's soul went out to her, but he uttered no sound. Only a sigh escaped his lips, and he closed his eyes. Valentine ran up to him, and his lips opened as though in speech. He is calling you, said the Count. He is calling you in his sleep. He to whom you have entrusted your life is calling you. death would have separated you, but by good fortune I was near and I have overcome death. Valentine, henceforth you must never leave him, for in order to rejoin you he courted death. Without me you would both have died. I give you to one another. May God give me credit for the 2 lives I have saved." Valentino seized Monte Cristo's hand and in a transport of irresistible joy carried it to her lips. "Oh, yes, yes, I do thank you, and with all my heart," said she. "If you doubt the sincerity of my gratitude, ask Haiti. Ask my dear sister Haiti, who since our departure from France has helped me to await this happy day that has dawned for me." "Do you love Haiti?" asked Monte Cristo, vainly endeavoring to hide his agitation. "With my whole heart." "Well, then, I have a favor to ask of you, Valentine," said the Count. "Of me? Are you really giving me that happiness?" "Yes. You called Haiti your sister, but be a real sister to her, Valentine. Give to her all that you believe you owe me. Protect her, both Morel and you, for henceforth she will be alone in the world." "Alone in the world?" repeated a voice behind the Count. "Why?" Monte Cristo turned around. Haiti was standing there, pale and motionless, looking at the Count in a mortal dread. "Tomorrow you will be free, my daughter," answered the Count. "You will then assume your proper place in society. I do not wish my fate to overcloud yours. Daughter of a prince, I bestow on you the wealth and the name of your father." Haiti turned pale, and in a voice choking with emotion said, "Then you are leaving me, my lord." "Haiti, Haiti, you are young and beautiful. Forget even my name and be happy." "So be it," said Haiti. "Your orders shall be obeyed, my lord. I shall even forget your name and be happy." And stepping back, she sought to retire. The Count shuddered as he thought of the tones of her voice which penetrated the inmost recesses of his heart. His eyes encountered the maiden's, and he could not bear their brilliancy. "My God," cried he, "is it possible that my suspicions are correct? Haiti, would you be happy never to leave me again?" "I am young," she replied. "I love the life you made so sweet to me, and I should regret to die." "Does that mean to say if I were to leave you, I should die?" "Yes, my lord." "Do you love me, then?" "Oh, Valentine, he asks whether I love him. Valentine, tell him whether you love Maximilian." The Count felt his heart swelling within him. He opened his arms, and Haiti threw herself into them with a cry. "Oh, yes, I love you," she said. "I love you as one loves a father, a brother, a husband. I love you as I love my life, for to me you are the noblest, the best, and the greatest of all created beings." "Let it be as you wish, my sweet angel," said the Count. "God has sustained me against my enemies, and I see now he does not wish me to end my triumph with repentance. I intended punishing myself, but God has pardoned me. Love me, Haiti. Who knows? Perhaps your love will help me to forget all I do not wish to remember." "What do you mean, my lord?" asked she. "What I mean is that one word from you, Haiti, has enlightened me more than 20 years of bitter experience. I have but you in the world, Haiti. Through you I come back to life. Through you I can suffer, and through you I can be happy." "Do you hear him, Valentine?" Haiti cried out. "He says he can suffer through me. Through me, who would give my life for him?" The Count reflected for a moment. "Have I caught a glimpse of the truth?" he said. "But whether it be for recompense or punishment, I accept this fate. Come, Haiti." Throwing his arms round the young girl, he shook Valentine by the hand and disappeared. An hour or so elapsed, and Valentine stood still beside Morel, breathless, voiceless, with her eyes fixed on him. At length she felt his heart beat. His lips parted to emit a slight breath, and the shudder which announces a return to life ran through his whole frame. Finally, his eyes opened, though with an expressionless stare at first. Then his vision returned, and with it the power of feeling and grief. "Oh, I still live," he cried in accents of despair. "The Count has deceived me." Extending his hand toward the table, he seized a knife. "My dear one," said Valentine with a sweet smile, "awake and look at me." With a loud cry, frantic, doubting, and dazzled by his celestial vision, Morel fell upon his knees. At daybreak the next day, Morel and Valentine were walking arm in arm along the seashore, while Valentine related how Monte Cristo had appeared in her room, how he had disclosed everything and pointed to the crime, and finally how he had miraculously saved her from death by making believe that she was dead. They had found the door of the grotto open and had gone out whilst the last stars of the night were still shining in the morning sky. After a time, Morel perceived a man standing amongst the rocks, waiting for permission to advance, and pointed him out to Valentine. "It is Jacopo, the captain of the yacht," she said, making signs for him to approach. "Have you something to tell us?" Morel asked. "I have a letter from the Count for you." "From the Count?" they exclaimed together. "Yes, read it." Morel opened the letter and read. "My dear Maximilian, there is a felucca waiting for you. Jacopo will take you to Leghorn, where Monsieur Notier is awaiting his granddaughter to give her his blessing before you conduct her to the altar. All that is in the grotto, my house in the Champs-Élysées, and my little chateau at Tréport are the wedding present of Edmond Dantes to the son of his old master, Morel. Ask Mademoiselle de Villefort to accept one half, for I beseech her to give to the poor of Paris all the money which she inherits from her father, who is now insane, as also from her brother, who died last September with her stepmother. Tell the angel who is going to watch over you, Morel, to pray for a man who, like Satan, believed for one moment he was the equal of God, but who now acknowledges in all Christian humility that in God alone is the supreme power and infinite wisdom. Her prayers will perhaps soothe the remorse in the depths of his heart. Live and be happy, beloved children of my heart, and never forget that until the day comes when God will deign to reveal the future to man, all human wisdom is counted in these words: wait and hope. Your friend, Edmond Dantes, Count of Monte Cristo." During the perusal of this letter, which informed Valentine for the first time of the fate of her father and her brother, she turned pale. A painful sigh escaped from her bosom, and silent tears coursed down her cheeks. Her happiness had cost her dear. Morel looked around him uneasily. "Where is the Count, my friend?" said he. "Take me to him." Jacopo raised his hand toward the horizon. "What do you mean?" asked Valentine. "Where is the Count? Where is Haydée?" "Look," said Jacopo. The eyes of the two young people followed the direction of the sailor's hand, and there, on the blue horizon separating the sky from the Mediterranean, they perceived a sail, which loomed large like a seagull. "Gone," cried Morel. "Farewell, my friend, my father." "Gone," murmured Valentine. "Goodbye, my friend, my sister." "Who knows whether we shall ever see them again," said Morel, wiping away a tear. "My dear," replied Valentine, "has not the Count just told us that all human wisdom is contained in the words, wait and hope?" That is the end of Count of Monte Cristo. Some met a terrible end, some met a good end, and we'll see what happens to the Count. Hopefully he had a good life. If you will, go to the community tab. I have put up a poll to see what author you guys would like to hear from next. I'm going to take a break for a week or so that we can get some of those responses in, and I can figure out what book I will be reading next. But I hope to see you guys again in the future. Have a good day.